Hi, this is Jan Sky from Brain Potential Insights, and my special guest this morning is Sal from Creative Therapy. Welcome, Sal.
Thanks, Jen.
I want to tell you about Sal before we begin so that you get an insight into this wonderful woman who's going to speak with us today. Sal is a clinical hypnotherapist, EMDR practitioner, energy and somatic worker. Having overcome great mental challenges in her own life, Sal has integrated her lived experiences with clinical knowledge to work with people at a conscious and subconscious level. She utilises the creative imaginations of herself and the people she works with to support people to process their life experiences and build a toolkit of resources for life. She has just released her signature Glow Beyond Trauma program, which has been developed to empower people in overcoming the traumatic imprints in their minds and body. The program works at a deep level using hypnotherapy, EMDR, and energy, breath, and body work to process trauma and bring forward a new positive belief and experience. Welcome, Sal. Tell me more about your Glow Beyond Trauma program.
Thanks, Jen. So I developed this program in relation with the people that I've been working with and my own lived experience of having been diagnosed with post-traumatic stress disorder as a young person. I had some quite traumatic experiences and wasn't given the tools to be able to manage that. So I worked through my own trauma over the years and became a therapist, and have now combined my knowledge and my experience together into one program to help people to recover from trauma. So a lot of the mainstream thinking around trauma is that it's a disorder, whereas I see it as a response to something that's happened. And if someone's given the right opportunity in the right space to process what's happened to them, then there's no reason for them to not go out and live their life fully as they wish to.
That's amazing, Sal. You know, as a young child and not to have been given the resources, but as you just said, to move through this and process this all on your own, you yourself have got a toolkit full of resources, and what a wonderful way to be able to share this with others now. So tell the audience more.
So my program is all about uncovering the traumatic imprints that a person is living with. So some people might know that they have trauma, but not know how to process it. Some other people might just have a sense of feeling unloved, unworthy, not enough, feeling uncomfortable, not being able to be themselves fully. And so we uncover the traumatic imprints that are underneath that. And so often the people that come to me are like myself. When I was young, my parents took me to get help. It just wasn't the right perspective for me. And so I usually work with people who have tried other things first and found that it hasn't given them the relief that they want. And so we work at different levels. We work at the body, we work at the mind, and we work with energy. We also do some breath work, and we work on emotional regulation a lot so that people are able to self-soothe through their own experiences. And then I am also an EMDR practitioner. So I work on helping people who are experiencing very big triggers and flashbacks to be able to desensitize those triggers so that they're able to work on what they need to work on. So for some people, like myself, I had flashbacks that were quite strong, and they would interfere with my life and make it really difficult for me to work on what I needed to work on. So we use EMDR and then some hypnotherapy to work at that level. So both at the conscious and the subconscious level.
That's just fantastic, because the people with lived experiences through trauma, it can impact their life to the extent that they can't, they don't even want to use any type of social engagement. They're prevented from even going to work because they can't function in a workplace. They're so easily triggered by small things, and others who are just observing the behavior that they're displaying aren't even recognizing that, are they? And
No.
think some throwaway lines like, oh, they're a bit weird, or I don't know why they keep having, why don't they just get over it? Why don't they just move on? But trauma is real. And you work with the brain, the mind, and the body. And of course, that's where all the memory of it is stored. At Brain Potential, we learn about traumatic incidents. And so how do you get your people to come along? How do you get known, Sal? Where can people contact you?
So I have a Facebook page, Sal Creative Therapy. I also have a website, www.salcreativetherapy.com.au. A lot of the people that come to me come through referrals from people who have already worked with me. So at the moment, actually, I have a bit of a discount going until July 4th because I've just released this program. So if people type in GLOW, GLOW, in my website, they will get a discount as well the next week or so. And also I'm on Google. So yeah, there's lots of different ways to connect with me. I'm also on Instagram as well. Yeah. So it's just Sal Creative Therapy.
And so we will put your website details up, of course, on the top of the page. People will be able to see it. So tell us a little bit more about your program, Glow Beyond Trauma, which is a beautiful name. It's just in itself, it infers that this person is just going to be like a beacon and glow in their own light beyond this trauma that they experience. So a little about the program. How does it work?
Okay, so we have 5 one-on-one sessions with me, interspersed between 2 to 3 months, depending on the person. And we work at all the different levels. So we begin with emotional regulation to start with. It's really important, obviously, if we're working with trauma, to be able to regulate through the emotions we're going to experience. And then we work on a plan with the person. So it's really guided by the person and where they're at, going at their own pace. And so we do energy work, we do breath work, we do EMDR, we do hypnotherapy, and we incorporate all of those things at different points. And I always give lots of resources and recordings for people to listen to support their work at home. I'm a very big believer that people, like you said, they can glow from the inside out. So it's really about bringing to life those internal resources that sometimes, because of trauma, we get disconnected from them. We forget the amazing qualities and unique capabilities that we have because we get stuck in the negative experiences or the uncomfortable feelings or the challenges that we're experiencing. And so my aim for every person is to be able to recover from that and bring forth all of those amazing qualities that people have inside of themselves that perhaps they have been disconnected from. So we want to plug back into those beautiful qualities and bring that inner light out. And so we do that at lots of different levels with the person. And I give them a booklet to work through. I have a support sort of space on Facebook, a private Glow Facebook group, where people who work with me can share resources together and support each other in the journey, because it is a recovery. It's not that you're going to do 5 sessions and you're fully recovered. It's the starting point of recovery. Recovery is an ongoing process. And even for myself, I've been doing this for years. I'm still in recovery. You know, I'm still managing my emotions. I'm still connecting with my inner self and bringing those resources forward. So it's all about giving people the tools, the resources, and the support.
Yes, that's wonderful. And it's like living with this new self. We have certainly been impacted if we've been experienced trauma in our lives. And so we can live post the trauma, but then with your intervention of these tools and the things that you give, they need to learn, people, or not need to, people have the resources then to learn how to live with all of the experiences that have been impacting them. And I love how you say they become stuck. And from a brain perspective, people are stuck because it's almost like it's greater than stress. But when you're stressed, you have what we call neural looping going on from the limbic region of the brain, and mainly the amygdala, which is I call the CEO of all emotional content, up to the right prefrontal cortex. And so via these clusters of neural pathways, the thought processes and the feelings just keep looping around and around and around. And when I always say, when you combine negative emotions. With creativity, you get catastrophe.
Yeah.
Or begin to catastrophize. And using the word stuck is such a beautiful term, because it's a simple word, but it's so descriptive.
And it relates also to the limiting beliefs that just go around and around, these limiting beliefs that people naturally form about themselves because of the experiences. And it's not necessarily the experience itself, it's the lack of opportunity to process it fully. And that's really where I come from, is processing an experience fully allows a person to overcome the negative thoughts, the limiting beliefs, that feeling of being stuck. Because the reason they're stuck is because it hasn't been processed fully. And so Glow Beyond Trauma provides that space to process whatever needs to be processed so that a person can move through to the next space.
Sal, it sounds absolutely amazing. And I wish you well on your journey.
Thanks,
of
Jen.
helping others. And of course, all the details will be displayed so people can contact you through your website at Creative Therapy, and also on your Facebook page, looking that word glow beyond trauma.
Thank you so much, Jen. I really appreciate you having me today.
My pleasure.